Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur Darkchylde. I'm a player with autism, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. We helped out with the Alamegans as a group A settlers that were down on their luck after losing their homeland from the Garlean Empire. A main villain from Final Fantasy VI, I believe. And a group of kids ran into the Ascian that we're looking for and hatched a plan that ended up getting most of them killed, except for one boy. After some trial and error, a lot of running back and forth, we were able to get information on the kid when he ran into the Ascian and reported everything that we learned back to Minfilia. After doing so, we got information that the Ascian we're looking for is here in New Gridania, where one of the wits that we learned from our little forest fairy friend at the Scions said to look for the witness in this town, which we did. After calming him down, the Ascian we're looking for was here with a monster in tow. Curious to what was going on, he followed within safe distance away to learn that he ran into a murder. And now we're into a little bit of a running back and forth thing to find out who this woman was, how'd she die, and why did they kill her. And the first step to do that is to slay a few monsters called Ziz, to be exact. Best get on with it then. Was that soldier doing the same squats that Zack does in Final Fantasy VII? I'll go a little further down to hunt more, because this is a fate, and I don't think I'll be allowed to attack them while I'm inside a fate that's below level I'm in. Okay, that's one down. 2. 3. You've already seen the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find out to suggest the creature were the culprits? Nothing? Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz off the list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. We got a twofer for this one. Rock of Rancor. There's something else. I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. It even... I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some as whispered that after each victim died, her rancor, went into the big rocks southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears interesting, I reckon. I'm going to give you the fire stand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything. You'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn a new one, bring back some of the fragments, and I'll give them a gander. There is something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Murad's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Murad's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Good to know. Let's start with the rock thing first, I think. I think down here is the rock one, and the one up a bit is the eye. Lightning-inspired crystals. Good thing I'm at a high enough level so that none of the enemies in this area will interrupt me. The highest level you can go for Realm Reborn is 50, I believe. We are at level 65, so we should be fine. Okay, that takes care of that. Now let's investigate that spot the boy was talking about. Huh, a fellow player. Alright, let's report to both. monstrous Bane appeared, and you slew it? That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Fullground. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw? Or merely a trick of the light combined with the blind panic? Most folks are scared to go within 100 yalms of a hunk of Ronkar. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few vengeful spirits of dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Huh? Why are just your garden variety crystals? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. 'Tis a bit hard to tell beneath the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning expected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've got none and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire stand stick. Oh well. There's been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep, knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I have been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have been mistaken so dis a creature for a brain mite. And you and I were moms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here has a run-in with a Bramite at the very spot you claim to see that fiendish eyeball. Is that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I could wager an apple tart on it. Ooh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be. Gods, of course! There must be more than one of these buggers. Ah, it's so obvious. But then that means, since there's been repeated sightings of these fiends, there must have been some victims as yet undiscovered. Gulp. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to an expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Well, I burn to know the truth. Some things are best left unknown. Least you have forgotten, it was the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. You should discover aught of note. You will want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The serpents were shrouded there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. eyeball. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? God be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight, poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the Central Shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough, the creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end none can say. The victims have all been women, young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to notify their next of... This button engraved in the lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil? Or that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove the pivotal of solving the murders. I would have you hold on to that lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Moine. Mayhaps someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon this sigil. Save me the trouble of all that walking. Good evening to you, Maria. But your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you find this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize this lily sigil. You'll have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You should do worse than him beginning with Bernadine. Over any of Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. how tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on. Show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in the Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know what would make the personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Singold over in the Lancers Guild. The woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens in the four-name bases. Sorry, not interested in joining a free company, my friend. Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me of late. There has been a man who is perpetually seated at a bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Sandal, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button on the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. Okay, let's see. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the Darkchylde's family. How did you come to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? And her face? Was it marred in any way? I had feared as such. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths. But on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and prudest families in Gridania, the Darkchylde. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amadine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kinder fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed. She beheld a disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons until one day, warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her to regain that which she had lost. So she began the rite of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her henchmen to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell into me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as babe. Obedient servant I was. But when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. It was that I left Haruk Manor, my home, for nigh a half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of her existence until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. It's you at Haruk Manor, on the western edge of the central shroud. Now go and do what must be done. We have no choice but to comply. See if I can get there. And I want to make this go as fast as possible, so I'm gonna need to team up with other player to make this dungeon a quick one. I guess we're moving a little faster now on our chocobo. Next up, we head to that haunted manor. and see if we can put end to all these murders. Look at that, floating eyes. We're in the right place. Here we go. Now I play the waiting game as I try to get in there. My strategy, focus on healing until we get to a boss. When we get to a boss, I'll help out as best I can for lowering the enemy's HP until it's dead. I'm just going to be waiting here a while until more players join in to help out with this. This might take a while. There we go. Now then, just gotta wait for the tank. There we go. And let the dungeon begin. Skip the opening thing there. Focus on the tank. It was a Lullafell. Keep everybody alive when the tank makes a big group like that. Run low on magic, I'll just use Lucid Dreaming to replenish my magic. And I feel like for this dungeon, I better keep an eye on that tank. She stays alive. Seriously? You're pulling them into the boss's room? Are you nuts? That's suicide! Unless you know what you're doing. To this player, most of the tanks I follow usually wait till all the other enemies are down before facing the boss. venture against and say that paladin is level 100. Let's see, we are a paladin, white mage, samurai, and an arcanist. How are you not a summoner or scholar yet? You'd be level 30 now, and by then you'd be able to get your class of choice. At least that's when I'd start choosing my secondary job. 30. Heck, I did a few previous episodes where I started my white mage job at level 30. And then took time to level up so that I can do all of the missions that could get me all the spells I could learn up to this point. Can't use holy, so I just gotta focus on healing. Just gotta focus on healing. Where did you come from? Usually I take out the Mad Jester first, who does magic, and then take on the physical attack after he's down. Tank is fine for the moment. We're making quick work of these bosses. This one, don't worry about killing. He'll just move on to the boss's room once you get half his down. They started the fight. Of course they did. You couldn't wait for me, guys? And of course, right off the bat, I get turned to stone. Before I even do anything. Hello, Esena, thank you. That's it for her. Darkness has taken root within these halls, sprung from the most unlikely of seeds. One cannot help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickened it to life. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You are every bit the intriguing as our master gave us to believe. This is no ordinary mortal who can acquire the one crystal of light, much less 3. The crystals make you strong, and it is to that strength that the light is dawn on. Heidelin chose well. A pity that your existence is irreckonable with our own. We cannot well allow you to continue upon your present course. Alas, we came here not to play, to make measures of your strength for Master La Brea. That task now accomplished, we can take our leave of you. Fare you well, bringer of light. Report to Sandal. Right. I didn't do it for this character. So I gotta take the long way around. Someone's trying to talk to me, but I'm a little focused at the moment. You are returned. What sights awaited you inside the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me all. So, she went so far as to consort with devils. Would that I could have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked men you encountered were the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is a pain that they are of the same veiled brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence, I'm allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore, though misplaced loyalty, cowardice, I am an embedder to the gross crime. I will surrender myself to the authorities and accept whatever punishment they deem fit. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. And we gotta report back to Minfilia. Let's hurry up and report to her. Welcome back, Maria. Full glad I am to see you safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on the sojourn of the 12 Woods? Two of La Brea's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission? The devils taunt us. It is beyond doubt, then, the Asians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end? To what end? Yet, I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the incurring darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me that now that we Scions are too few to protect the realm against the threat unaided. We must needs alert the three nations to the presence of the elusive enemy and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There is no shortage of misery in the world that the Asians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that is precisely what the enemy desires. We have gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has arisen that requires your attention. Let me know when you're ready to be briefed, and I'll summon the others. Wrath of Titan.
The Maelstrom requests our assistance.
Concerning the kobolds they sent such copious notes on, I presume?
Yes. And no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe.
What sort of peril?
The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limasa has reawakened Titan. Our task will be to slay the Primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak.
Years before the Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the sea wall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Merlvip hired able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more.
Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of primals.
The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular, ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand.
Unlike Ifrit, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded years since, and mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles.
Expect the worst. The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could still find ourselves overmatched. A pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibilities of the sylphs. A peaceful resolution would be more than welcome. The echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline.
So you will accept?
Of course we would.
Thank you.
We can't very well send her to Limsa Lomensa without Y'shtola. Can we, Minfilia?
May I ask that of you, Y'shtola?
I never thought it question.
Ever reliable. Very well. We will spare no effort to win victory. You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And all not afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ida, go to the Grand Companies. Tell them of our plight and solicit their support. Ariange, send word to the students of Baldessian, and Alfino if you would. Papalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be. You will be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light crystal.
All right. Next up is Lomensa. All right. And I think I'll end it here for today's episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. What awaits us is for the events that will lead to an inevitable fight with the Earth-summoned Titan. Find out next time in Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did and would love to see more, that like and subscribe button, leave a comment if you want, ring that bell to be notified when our next video comes out. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes Saturday and Sundays. All of this helps my channel to grow so you have more videos to enjoy. Until the next episode, my friends, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks.